There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and that's why I hit the record button.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. It's been a while. So,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, I'm getting over being sick
Ugh.
right now. So, if my voice sounds a little bit deeper or phlegmy than usual, it's probably why.
It has a little bit of a this quality to it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just dealing with that. So, welcome back to the show, everybody. We have a lot to talk about. I need to get one thing before we get into like any of the Nintendo stuff that happened. There was a new Final Fantasy 14 patch, and with it came a lot of stuff. Um, like there's a lot of good. There's like a new story stuff, obviously, and that's like actually really good story stuff. I've not seen anybody having complaints about the story stuff. Like that's great.
Ooh.
Like stuff's happening, stuff's moving forward, and after everybody being so negative, I'm hearing a lot of people be like, "Oh, we're back," right?
Mm.
Because the narrative is going back to it doesn't treat you like a kid. It's not hand holding. The Scions do a lot more stuff in this one patch than they do in a lot of the main story of the expansion.
They're allowed to be relevant
Um,
again.
yeah, and well, yes, Wuklamot is there. Wuklamot has lines. It's not dominating,
Hmm.
and
Is
I
that that
really enjoyed what they did. Yeah.
is that character that you mentioned as having the third most lines in the game, was it?
Yes.
Like an obnoxious presence?
Yes.
Hmm.
So they clearly listened to feedback. They cut back on her and gave you more of the characters that you know and love, right?
Yeah. Sort of a okay, we get it, but they're still going to be part of the story. They're not going away, but we get it. It was too much. They needed to be
Yes.
introduced, but it was still too much.
So they kind of pushed back a little bit on that. And so the story's really good. It comes with a trial and an EX, which is really fun. I haven't tried the EX yet, but the trial's pretty fun. Also comes with a new series of raids from the Arcadian, and they are really fun fights. One of them is against Dancing Green, who you have to dodge as if it's a rhythm game. Just dodge to the rhythm, which is kind of fun.
So
Um,
it's called Dancing Green. Are we talking ABBA references? Is this where we are right now?
I mean,
I know this
one of his
localization team. I know how they do.
one of his attacks is called Disco Infernal,
Okay, well that's not
so
ABBA in fairness. So
it's all over with the references.
Oh dear.
Um, but you got new raids, you got new fights. There's a lot of rebalancing to the classes, which ended up with our favorite new class, Pictomancer, which was so overpowered it was overpowering a lot of the melee classes
yep,
as the
Broken
caster
has
class.
caster
Has,
abilities in terms of DPS, can heal, can do everything of the things.
has
Is
been
my
nerfed,
understanding. Cool.
but hasn't been nerfed into the ground. Is still really strong, just not as overwhelming,
Mm.
which is good. Overall, a lot of the changes was reducing the fall off on AoE attacks that hit like with the splash damage
Hmm.
because some of the harder fights involve multiple enemies, and so if you're trying to hit two enemies at once, but one of them is only taking 50% as much damage with your AoE attacks, it's really not worth it to do the AoE attacks, and that makes it really hard to hit the, you know, damage thresholds you need to. So
Now,
just
see,
some like
this is
general stuff like that.
this is all some very positive stuff. Here's the thing. Before I hit the record button, you prefaced this as a rant.
Yes.
So,
So I have a rant. And it is not about the balancing of the classes, which is good. It's not about the new story stuff, which is really good. It's not even about the raids. I play a scouting class. That is my main. I play ninja, I play viper, I play scouting. And with the recent addition of two channel dies, I've had a lot of control over how I can control the different outfits and glamour and stuff that I earned from doing some of the hardest fights in the game.
Yes.
This is a major motivation point for me because that glamour, that outfit stuff is what I'm really doing the fights for, to be honest. The fights are fun,
Oh yeah, I mean it's
but I
fashion
want that cool
fantasy.
drip.
That is the end game of the game.
Now, the final boss of Arcadian is like literally a Gundam of this particular set of raids. Literally a Gundam. So it has some really cool tech themed jackets.
Cool.
And you're going through it, and I'm looking through this. I'm like, wow, this is probably my favorite designed like model for a clothing item in the game. I love this so much, and this one has a blue glow to it.
Yeah.
Nice, works with it.
The tech
This one
stuff
has
is
an orange
cool.
glow. Great, awesome. My character uses blue and orange. Let's go look at the scouting one. Every other class has a blue or an orange glow. That is not dyeable, but that's okay because it works with the other colors you have available. It's a neon that works well. Scouting should have gotten an orange glow. Instead, it gets a bright purple one.
Okay, well, I mean,
This has been I know you like purple.
I do.
I know you like purple.
There is a reason our
My-
logo is purple, and it's because like when we were first starting out, everyone was like, "Hey, what should we do for a logo?" And it's like, "Hey, how about a fan?" I'm like, "A purple fan. Let's make it purple."
Yes.
Everyone in
I know
agreement?
you
Okay,
love
we're making it
purple.
purple.
This is not a problem for you. In fact, this is a benefit for you.
Yeah.
But it's an undyeable purple that is entirely interlaced throughout the entire outfit. Ninja has had a thing where every single expansion, on every cool piece of armor, they always have purple that's undyeable. Every single time. The only time in which that did not happen was when they introduced two-channel dye to some earlier job gear sets, and you could remove purple on some of them. Even the tome set that they introduced at the start of the expansion, I mean, Monk has one that has these wings on it that are like dyeable and changed with the dye of the color. But only for scouting does that wing, which does normally changes with the dye, stay purple no matter what you do.
I don't know how to talk to you about this.
Now,
I'm
I know
like,
you like
"It's
purple.
fine. It's good."
It's fine for you. But for me, when I have specific colors I want to use and I want to have, and I'm being told that I have to
You have
do
to match it to
purple.
purple. You have to either do something really clashing, or you have to match to purple. You have no other choices. And yeah, I get it. That kind of sucks. That is not great. Like, I mean, that can be a thing for like the special super raid weapons, the ultimates, right? They
The
have a
ultimates
very specific
undyeable,
color
but
of
they
glow.
have and they have a million different like special effects going off, right?
Yeah, and that can be a problem in the same way. It's a little annoying. I am gonna say, for as annoyed as you are about this, and fair enough, it's an annoying thing. The fact that the biggest gripe you have with the patch is the colors of the outfits is just like the highest possible praise. Considering everything that was kind of going wrong with the game in the past couple patches, like since the expansion.
Okay. From that, I almost unsubbed over this. I'm not kidding. I got so angry. I got so angry. I had like a huge rant to my friends in which I was just I had never felt my blood boil so much as when I saw that they made an exception from the blue and orange rule that every other class followed just to give me purple because I knew I didn't like it.
I'm sorry.
I was I was not happy. I was really unhappy. Now,
In defense of purple, it's the royal color. It's imperial purple. There's regal. There's regality about it.
I'm just gonna dye myself GameCube colors once I get the set, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be a GameCube.
You'd think they'd make the samurai set purple, honestly, because that was actually the traditional color for samurai.
There's two sets that are purple. There is the caster set for some reason, and the scouting set. There is a model that the scouting set uses that has a blue variant, but it does not have an orange variant, unlike every other thing. It just has purple. It makes no sense, honestly. Like, I was fine with purple in Abyssos when you had the sets that were either red fire or purple fire, and that was it. But when you add in a third variant that's just purple for no reason for only two classes, or sorry, two roles, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's my main problem, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
And if that's my main problem, that's a actually you are right. That is actually a good sign as to the content of the game itself.
It still
Um,
sucks, and you hate it, and I get that it's a thing that's. I just don't like this one thing. Like I've had that experience with a game before of like, oh, this one thing that should be so fucking circumstantial and just a nothing burger, it just hits me just wrong enough that it ruins the experience. I've been there.
I've had similar experiences with some of the games I've played, though in some circumstances I feel like it's more intentional than others. For example, in the game It Takes Two, I would have replayed that game 3 or 4 times by now, if not for the part where you have to kill the elephant.
Mm,
mm.
yeah.
It it wouldn't be such a big deal if I didn't love the actual model for the gear so much. Because it's like everything I wanted. To the point where I'm like, I guess I'll go level a monk so that I can use this gear.
I mean, monks are cool. I haven't heard any jokes about how stupid and lame they are in a while, so I assume that
No, they
class
always
is
get the
okay
cool
now.
stuff. They always get the cool stuff.
Well, I mean, they get reworked
Remember?
the most, so by like just process of statistical significance, yeah, they would get the most cool stuff because they keep getting the most stuff in general.
Yeah. Um, I mean, other than that, like PvP got reworked. They re-added the like third, was it third? The last frontline map that had been kicked out of the game temporarily because it had to be refixed because it was super unbalanced and broken. They added back in, and they also added in role actions for PvP. So each role has one of three special actions they can choose before a match. For example, PvP DPS has Smite, which basically means when somebody's HP gets low, you can just choose to kill them with a huge amount of damage. Or Swift, which makes it so that you can run really fast and are immune to basically every debuff that could possibly hit you and slow you down for like 4 seconds. Really good ways to counter some of the most BS things that people do in the game, and ways to cover for weaknesses of specific classes. So that was a really great addition to Frontline because that's like a huge, like 72-man brawl essentially. You know, 3 teams of 24. But yeah, no, like overall, it's a really good patch, and they're gonna be adding in like the Eureka slash Bosja equivalent very shortly, as well as more and more stuff in the 0.25 patch and stuff. So they also adjusted the graphics even more to look even better, so the game looks better. And they went back to old areas from previous expansions and even from A Realm Reborn and added in like more foliage and more stuff to make it look nice, updating textures like they're going through and just improving the entire look of the entire game. So overall, it's a good patch with good stuff. And and the new raid mount, if you clear the Savage, you get a car. You get a future car.
Okay.
which is fun. Anyway, all that 14 stuff over. No more 14 stuff. I'm done with that now.
That's okay.
So can we talk about Nintendo Switch 2?
We can. Okay.
I'm very much looking.
Good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's start with the console itself. Before we get into the games and everything, we can just start by talking about the console itself. It's a bit bigger. That's fair enough. That is what it is. It's a bit bigger, a bit more powerful. Not quite on the level of the current gen, but pretty much on the level of the last gen. More or less. So PS4, Xbox, whatever the fuck they were calling it last gen. The naming convention for Xbox
they're
consoles
saying
has
you
not
can
helped
play...
them in the marketing. Sorry.
They're saying like, oh, we got support for 4K and we can do up to 120 FPS on some games at 1080p, and I'm
They
like, okay.
are saying that, yes.
They are
Their
saying
demonstrations
that,
have left something to be desired, but they are saying that, yes.
I've been watching a lot of the gameplay. Like, it typically looks really smooth and really good for the games that I've seen so far. With Mario Kart World looking just, yeah.
Yeah, first party titles, yes, but that's Nintendo being Nintendo. Their first party stuff is always perfectly tuned to the system that they made because they're first party titles that are tuned to the system that they made. But you look at third party and you get the typical expected performance of a third party title on a Nintendo console, which is less than what you would like. Cyberpunk is the one that sticks out most, probably, which is understandable because that game was not great on previous gen consoles, as has been very famously pointed out many, many times.
Yeah.
So
I was not expecting Cyberpunk to run well, to be honest.
I wasn't expecting it to run at all, so it's kind of impressive that they got it ported onto the Switch 2 at all. But at the same time, are you really going to play it on the Switch 2? Probably not. But,
yeah, no.
it is what it is in that sense. But yeah, so it's more powerful. You have the new Joy-Cons that are magnetized to the console, and I was very concerned about that, but it seems like, no, that's actually pretty legit, and that's going to work just fine. Seems to be the case. So there's no worries there. I'm trying to think of more significant stuff about the console itself, but there isn't that much.
It's
Backwards
got
compatibility.
8 times the storage, which is very much needed.
You are required to buy the new proprietary storage SD cards for the Switch 2 specifically, and not the Switch 1 ones. You can't use those for the new one, which... Okay, that was possibly the first point in a worrying trend that we will get to later.
For the micro SD Express, it does have higher read speeds, so like, there's a reason why you would want to prefer that. I don't know why, like, it just doesn't work with previous micro SD cards though.
Yeah, that I personally, I doubt, like, it's still an SD card, which is not slow, and I would be surprised if the speed has improved so much that the previous ones simply would not function.
From what I've been seeing, load times they were assessed with Breath of the Wild, and load times were about like 35% faster.
Cool. I would probably be okay with it being 35% slower if it means I don't have to buy a new SD card. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is a thing that they have done, and okay. So storage is bigger, performance is better, the screen is bigger. Let's more or less it, really, for the system itself, I think.
It runs games that smoothly that are made for it, and some third-party games that are kind of already pushing the limits on some things probably still won't work well on it. But I mean, I can play the new Pokemon game at a frame rate.
Maybe. Has that actually been proven? That is something I don't know. It has.
Yes,
Okay.
it has.
So
It actually runs at a
the Switch 2
stable
can
frame rate.
handle the entire globe of ocean being rendered all at once. Good for the Switch 2.
At least for the new one, it's been tested. I have not seen how it works with Scarlet Violet yet.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so internally, in terms of software features, it has Discord. It has Discord. Like, people have pointed out, hey, you just 100% ripped off the Discord UI. That might be lawsuit worthy, actually. That's a thing you did. In fairness, what they did with it is actually pretty impressive in terms of, hey, you can have like picture-in-picture of other people streaming to you, which they seem to be going big on online features this gen.
Yeah.
Which is like 3 gens late, but that's okay. It's good that they're doing that now. Some of the stuff is a little goofy, but it wouldn't be Nintendo if it wasn't. Like putting your faces into the game for Mario Party games. That
you can hook up a camera to it. This will be
Yeah.
one of our fun, quirky things, and also you can use the controllers as mice, which is pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, it's a neat idea.
And I dare say it'll be very entertaining watching certain Let's Players react in real time to Chance Time.
Oh god, yeah, that's gonna be that stuff is great. It would be slightly better timed if it didn't come when a lot of streamers are switching to the VTubing. That's a little unfortunate, but you know, there will definitely still be an audience for streamers doing like meat space streams and stuff, so they can put their faces in. And I'm struggling to think of anything else significant that they did in terms of like just system functionality. Backwards compatibility is a thing, mostly.
Well, if you want to
there's-
talk about...
Go ahead, patient.
Yeah, patient.
If you want to talk about how the system functions, then why don't you just play the game that's basically the user's manual?
Oh yeah.
It's got $10.
I mean... Yes, but no one ever reads the manual. This might be some incentive to do so. I don't know.
No, this would be an incentive not to read the manual because no one wants to pay $10 for a manual. That's
So
yeah. Reggie
with-
Fils-Aimé ripped them to shit for this one, and he was right to because he has literally proven why this is a bad idea.
Yes. So that was like a worrying sign because it's like, what do you mean it's not free?
Yep. I watched, I think it was Coney doing his react to that, and he's just watching it. Yeah, this looks cool. It's sort of like an Astrobot thing from PS5 and PS4 and all that stuff. That's cool. All right, so it just sort of shows you the features of the paid? Like, and he rightly pointed out, yes, that was how everyone reacted to that. Like, that
Yep.
was literally every stream I watched of like, wait, what? When the word paid came up.
I wasn't happy about that. I expected it would be something like $2.99, maybe even just 99 cents. If it were that, I think the whiplash would have been less outrage and more just annoyance.
I mean, it's an even more of I'm not going to pay for this. Like, either way, people aren't really going to pay for this, and I feel like it's all just a really bad idea, and the reasons for it are just baffling. Like, they don't understand what marketing is in general.
So we have that, which is paid, and then they also are like, hey, if you want to play a Nintendo Switch game on Switch 2, we have these upgrade packs. Now,
Okay. So
I looked into this a little bit,
yeah,
and they've listed off some games that are just graphical updates, like just to make the game run better. That's free.
right,
But if the Switch 2 version of a game has additional content, they're treating it as just buying DLC,
right.
which is, I mean, I'm kind of torn on that.
I mean, it doesn't seem unreasonable for them if they're providing extra content, to ask for a little extra. I mean, it would be nice if they didn't, but that's not profitable.
Here's my one big problem with this, depending on how they're playing it. And you said you looked into this, Zero, so I'm hoping you actually know.
Yeah.
Can you play the base Switch 1 version of the game on Switch 2 without the upgrade pack?
Yes.
For free?
Yes.
Okay then. That is fine. I will say that is fine. They could have been bigger dicks about that one. I will give them credit there. They could have forced the upgrade on people if they wanted to play it on Switch 2. They didn't do that. That is worth a little bit of not denying them credit. I don't want to say I'll give them credit for just doing the bare minimum of not being a dick. But I will say they did not shoot themselves in the foot on that one.
Yeah, so basically, if you want to just play the original game, that's fine. Like, it won't be optimized for Switch 2 and have HDR or whatever, but, I mean, you can still play it. It'll still be better just by virtue of being a better console. So, yeah, no, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could have been worse. I will say it could have been worse, and that is damning by faint praise. But that is they are putting in the effort. They are giving more content for those old games. That is worth praise. That unequivocally worth praise. Upgrading the old titles, making them better. Fair enough. Good thing. Good addition. Good choice. Good to do.
Now, when it comes to the games themselves, this is where we have a bit of a problem, because the Nintendo Switch's pricing, which we're going to go in on that a little bit before I want to actually talk about like the games and the content they showed after we talk about the pricing stuff, because that's kind of a
let's get the pricing out of the way so we don't just end this discussion on a complete down note, because it's going to be a down note.
Yeah. So console itself, $450.
Not unreasonable. It's a little higher than most people expected, but it's not unreasonable.
Well, like $400 was going to be the minimum you were going to be looking at there, and $450 for a console that is handheld and can support 4K and all these other bells and whistles. Like, if it runs as well as they say it does, like, I mean, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just quickly going to run the price for the Steam Deck, which is their direct competitor now.
Yeah.
Price for the Steam Deck in the US, it is $477.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's from Klarna. Fucking.
$470.
I'm getting $550 for an actual. $470 from Amazon. So.
Yeah, for a 64 gigabyte one.
Yeah, which is the cheapest model. So that's the starting price is $479.
Yeah.
Which it is a bit more burly of a machine, is my understanding.
Yes.
And it's got a much bigger library. Higher price point makes sense. So
Now,
Nintendo are competing on that front.
yes, the issue comes with the lack of regulation when it comes to game prices.
So one of the content creators that I watched when looking into the Nintendo kerfuffle that I'm going to call it, the Switch 2 kerfuffle, let's call it that instead. Maximilian Dude did a sort of analysis on video game pricing in over the decades,
Hmm.
and you know, common wisdom was like from about 2000 onward, video games $60. That was how it worked. That was just everywhere, every console. Video game prices are $60. That was specifically because of Sony jumping into the market because they just fucking did that. They just decided, okay, we're going to sell all of our games at $60, flat price point. That's it. And then they would do like later re-releases that would be even cheaper. They changed the market by doing that because before PlayStation, prices were whatever the fuck the publisher wanted the price to be. So if you wanted, say, an arcade port to a console, like Killer Instinct was the big example that he had, that was like $90 or $100. They kind of got crazy on some titles, some were a little bit more reasonable. But it was just sort of Wild West pricing. It was what it was. Just if you could afford that, you could afford that. If you couldn't, then you couldn't. Like, shut the fuck up, we make the rules kind of thing. And what it seems like is Nintendo is trying to go back to those days. Which I don't know about. Like, that's sort of the case for indie games. That is pretty much the case for indie games. They charge what they feel the game is worth. But the thing is, when they charge what they feel the game is worth, that usually means it is a lot cheaper than the AAA space would ever charge for them. Not in a million years would you see a AAA space game costing $20 unless it was the biggest flop in the fucking universe. So Nintendo were trying to push it in the other direction where we have, okay, this game, like, we put a lot of work into this game. We put a lot of love and heart and so much work into this game, and we've decided that all that love and hard work is worth $80 if we say it's worth $80. 90 physical if you want it in physical form. Yeah, fuck you, pay it. And it has been pointed out accurately that this is probably a poor time to be making decisions like that when
Yes.
trust in the AAA space is at an all-time low and no one has any fucking money. So yeah.
Soon enough, they'll read. No, I'm just going to stay quiet. Every time I try to say something hopeful, it just doesn't work.
Nintendo
This
don't really
isn't-
read the room until they get whapped on the nose for it.
This is not really a case of. See, some of the issue here with the pricing is not only like the real world stuff, but it's also okay. If you want to upgrade, I didn't mention this before, but I wanted to bring it up now. If you want to upgrade your Tears of the Kingdom to the free update version, that's fine. If you have the Nintendo Switch Online stuff and everything that comes with it, so pay money for that. But if you want to start off with the Switch 2 version of it without the upgrade, it's $80. Same
Yep.
for Kirby and the Forgotten Lands with Mario Party Jamboree. And Mario Kart World is also going to be $80. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. Now, we were kind of swallowing the $70 price. Like other games have started to do the $70 thing, right?
It's
The only
already had a
game,
chilling effect on sales in general. Yes, people really.
um, the only game last generation for Switch that had that $70 price point was Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom did not do as well as Breath of the Wild, partially because of the sequel, partially because of that price point. And no, not every game on Switch 2 is $80. Not every game is, and like Donkey Kong Bonanza, first party game, $70. Make it make sense. Because
It makes sense because those are the prices that they've decided that they can get away with.
exactly, right? They know that Mario Kart's their biggest seller. They know that everybody's going to buy a Mario Kart because that always sells every time.
Not to mention, it
Ridiculous
is a
number.
bundle.
Yes, if you get the bundle, you shave off $30.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that generous of them? It's like when Ubisoft said you could get fucking what was it? Assassin's Creed Shadows. You could get the Super Ultimate Mega Deluxe Super Ultimate Gold Platinum Edition for $120, or you could just spend $12.99 for an Ubisoft subscription and just, you can play the whole thing. It's cool. All you gotta do is sign up and give us all of your information and join our stupid fucking Ubisoft client and forget that you have a subscription and end up paying like 3 times what you actually wanted to pay. That's okay, right? Sorry, that was also a pet peeve that I just sort of segued in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of the same attitude of, just it's cheaper, right? That's how that works. For the thing that maybe you didn't want in the first place, like, say, me. I don't give a fuck about Mario Kart. I was a Crash Team Racing was my kart racing game. Thank you very much.
So, this is kind of the downer on all of this news, right?
It's not great, and it is what it is. The biggest problem with it isn't even just the price, it's that we know that's always going to be the price because Nintendo don't do sales.
Yes. That's the frustrating thing. They don't do sales. So the fact that you're trying to price things higher and then just keep them high. Doug Bowser, president of Nintendo Current, is a sales guy. That was his backstory. He was in sales. He wasn't a game developer like previous people. He was a money guy. And boy, oh boy, can we tell.
Here's the thing. Every guy in big corpo business is a money guy.
I would argue that the lack of there's a lack of
Let me point out, everyone loves big
here.
well, not big, but everyone loves cuddly Shigeru Miyamoto, who, he is just the nice game developer man who makes all of the things that you enjoyed in your childhood. He wanted to throw Reggie Fils-Aimé out a fucking window for wanting to make Wii Sports a pack-in title.
Yes. I'm not really even talking about that particular developer, but Reggie and Iwata were really great, and now the current leadership is going in a trend that I don't like.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating. But
it is frustrating, but it is what it is, and it is a thing we're going to have to just sort of either deal with or just pass by based on what we're willing to take. And that's just the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
As it stands, personally, I'm not at the moment, and we'll see how it shakes out over the next year or two.
I'm waiting to see how things shake out.
I did get an offer from Nintendo. Hey, do you want to pre-order the thing? And I was like, it's a wonderful suggestion. I'll pass. Thank you very much.
I will likely buy the console. I don't see a situation in which I don't. That's just, honestly, for me, it's what I've always done. It's what I'm going to continue to do. I like the games. I like the console. I don't know if I'll buy Mario Kart.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the game. Unless you wanted to add something in, Patient. I just said.
Now I'll just go ahead and segue into the next segment, just because I agree with I agree with Zero. I'm probably going to buy it, just because all in all, it seems like an upgrade to everything that I'm using right now, and I have been dealing with drift with my Joy Cons for too long, no matter how many times I replace them. So
Yeah,
hopefully that problem will be fixed with
we
the new
don't really
model.
know yet. We're
Well,
gonna find out over the next 6 months.
anyway, anyway, I am actually looking forward to Mario Kart purely because, well, my mother bought herself a Switch pretty recently, and it's one of the games that she would enjoy. So it would be a good opportunity for all of my family, who is split across 3 different households at this point, to just have an opportunity to get together and enjoy some games. My mother's never been much of a gamer, but she likes the more relaxing games, and she loves spending time with her kids. So, and the next Mario Kart World, that looks amazing. Frankly,
It
free
does. It
roam.
does.
I
I I grew up with Mario Kart 64, and my brother and I, we would go off road all the time. I still remember trying to go through the tunnel on the desert level to try to beat the train that kept coming by, or trying to explore the jungle, or some of those. There's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on, and that's the case more than ever in a game where you're encouraged to explore. So I've got to wonder how many Easter eggs that they've hidden there. No pun intended for the current time of this recording.
yeah, it's like a week away. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm going to save my thoughts for the end. I'm unfortunately going to dump a little bit of cold water on some of this, just for some insights of history of this particular sphere. But I want to let everyone just gush for a little bit about how cool it was, because it
Okay.
was cool. Like, let's not mince words.
Um,
For whatever I'm going to say at the end of this, it was cool.
yes. Um, Mario Kart World looks really fun to actually play, given that you have the whole rail grinding that can you flip and then even drive on walls. Like they seem to be very like from that. They got rid of the stats for the carts and the cart parts. They're now all just actual models for carts that just look good, and you don't have to worry about everybody online using the same exact cart because it is like the meta.
Everyone uses the Wienermobile and Waluigi and all that shit, or whatever
Yeah,
it
we don't have to worry
was.
about that anymore.
Yeah.
They got rid of that, which is honestly a godsend. I'm happy for that. They also went and added a bunch of new characters, including the most random characters. Cal from Moo Moo Meadows, hello. Um, as well as new
Yeah,
items, new outfits and costumes and stuff. It seems like they basically took everything, every random idea that they had built up from like the mobile game Mario Kart Tour, and decided let's actually just make the full game with basically everything we came up with here. And looks fun. Also, we have an exclusive FromSoft game, The Dusk Bloods,
Okay, let's not move on
which
from Mario Kart before you.
oh,
Thank you.
okay. All right.
So, again, it looks cool. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't. Like, the only thing that concerns me, and being perfectly fair, this is speculation. I have seen something like this before. It isn't from a kart racer, but it is from an arcade racer. There was a game about just shy of 20 years ago, I want to say, called Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
So the Burnout series was an arcade racer. Everything's on tracks, and you just race, and you can.
I know about Burnout. Yeah.
I'm just saying for the audience who might be children, you know how it goes. We're in our fucking 30s, man. That's how it goes. And it was a very arcadey. You know, you could smash into your opponent, and they would have a gigantic crash animation of them getting fucking smashed to shit, and it was great. And it was all, you know, very track based, and that was fine. That was great. Even it was fast paced and it was amazing. Then they came out with Burnout Paradise, and the theme for Burnout Paradise was open world racing. And they were very, very proud of having this open world that people could jump in and out of and join games. And you would just have these different drivers all over the map. And you could organize races and say, hey, come over here and we'll do a race. And that was cool. Until you got into the real issues of it, of like, hey, everyone has to go to this particular place to start the race and stuff like that, and that's kind of annoying and a bit of a drag. And open world racing maps of go from point A to point B is just a little awkward and a lot easier to get lost and all sorts of things like that. And it's just adds a dimension to the racing genre that maybe it didn't really need, and just kind of made the whole experience a little bit more cumbersome and hard to deal with, when really all you want to do is just start a race the track, and someone wins. So while Mario Kart World looks cool and I like the idea of it, I do have some trepidation from seeing a game do something very similar and just kind of... I mean, this was almost 20 years ago, like I said. Maybe they have seen that and learned from those mistakes. It is entirely possible that they have. But I have my concerns. That's all.
I understand where you're coming from. The open world element to it seems much more limited in terms of what you can do. Mm-hmm. As in, you are allowed to like go with friends to explore a course and go off road during that. Mm. The only open world really, aside from that, is in between your racing courses.
Yep.
You have like side courses, which you can turn off in settings if you don't want it.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the thing that was a little... that seems like not a great idea, is the thing where, okay, you do a Grand Prix, and part of the Grand Prix is getting from different courses to the next one. Oh, that sounds not fun at all. Like, that seemed like not a great idea. I do recall, was it? I can't remember whether it was Mario Golf or Everybody's Golf where that was also a thing of like, hey, you finished the hole, okay, run to the next one.
That was Mario Golf.
Yeah, and like, did anyone like that? Did anyone find that fun?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't play it. But Mario Kart World does have that. Like, you don't have to play you can play it the traditional way if you want.
Yeah,
that's in there. So like, that's fine.
And it remains like always, when there's a new one, there's always the old one, and the old one in this case is fucking Mario Kart Ultimate. So like, and that is backwards compatible. So if you want a good Mario experience on Switch 2, that's still right fucking there.
Yep. Then there was some other games we can talk about. Moving on from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, FromSoft has a exclusive PvP focused title.
Yeah, they called it PvPvE, which basically means it's PvP, but also we don't want to say it's completely PvP because that's not what people expect from us. So.
Yeah, I'm imagining that you'll have characters and there'll be matches that you go to, and they'll have monsters in the environment that you have to sometimes take down and worry about, while also having to worry about players coming up and backstabbing you. Essentially a standard FromSoft experience.
I don't know. I mean, being real, I didn't get to play Bloodborne because I didn't have a PS4 until that was well after a going concern. Actually, I think I have a copy of Bloodborne, but I just never played it. Like at the time, Persona 5 was coming out, and I'm like, oh, I can get back to that later, and then just never opened it ever.
Yeah, I really liked Bloodborne. It's a Sony exclusive though, so we have to call it something else. If we're gonna pick anything from that game.
Yeah,
Um,
I think yeah, we just kind of spitballed some ideas on another server for what they could have called it. And I think I came up with Hemobirthed.
no. Anyway, that game looks fun. Excited for that.
Yeah, we're seeing it very early, so like it. We're just getting vibes from the trailer.
3 seconds of Silk Song gameplay with just 2025 there, and I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, yeah, it's been pointed out it was 3 seconds of Silk Song gameplay that they showed a year or more ago. Like,
Yep, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Got some gameplay of Legends EA confirming, hey, this also runs on the new hardware, and that means it will actually run. So that's great. As well as
theme of that one is sort of. I've done my rant on the whole Legends thing. In this case, they are doing Ace Trainer battle ranking thing. Like, you go from Z to A in rank. Yeah, that's okay.
It might be fun. I'll give it a shot. Then there was a lot of games that were announced.
You know
there was
what? I'm going to start calling it Legends.
Legends. So Legends. There was the losing my brain space. Hey, you like Hyrule Warriors? Here's
Not
Age
really.
of Imprisonment. It's
okay.
The prequel to Tears of the Kingdom. So you know all that stuff you're complaining about in Tears of the Kingdom, you people who played it with there being a lot of story that was not present. Well, here's another game that has that story, and I hope that game is good. It looks like it runs well so far. As opposed to the first time I saw Age of Calamity, and the frames were not great.
As people have said, that series is kind of a tech demo.
But the frames here were good, and also I hope they don't do the fan fiction ending of Calamity. I want the actual canon ending. That's right, I want everybody to lose. Please, I beg you. Aside from that, which again, I'm excited for that. There was Donkey Kong Bonanza, which was the last one.
That looked neat.
Which, I watched a gameplay thing, and that entire environment is completely 100% destructible.
Yeah.
You can just tear through it and find all sorts of fun secrets, just breaking through the ground, through walls, through everything. Leave nothing left behind. Looks fun. Just like a big fun sandbox of destruction.
Yep. Donkey Kong Rampage.
And he has his new design, which is more like the movie design, but the game design here is a bit better than that. Very expressive, which I like. The previous model and art direction for Donkey Kong was much more stiff. And whenever you tried to be expressive, it came off as extremely uncanny. So having a more cartoony look is more fitting the character, which is fun. Metroid Prime 4 looks great. I've not played Metroid Prime as a series really, so I don't have much to say on that.
I have no idea.
I had friends that were going nuts for Bravely Default coming to Nintendo Switch 2, having a sort of a remake thing going on.
Sure.
Taking off the DS. So I never played that series. So
I'm sure people are hyped for that for some reason.
I don't know. It's apparently really good.
I fucking hate that game. But yeah, okay.
Masahiro Sakurai is coming in with Kirby Air Riders. Yay!
Yeah.
We love Air Riders.
We love Sakurai. Air Riders is what it is. But
I enjoyed it. I'm happy to see it. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah, it's not what I was expecting, but Sakurai's name is a mark of quality in and of itself, so I definitely want to see what it comes out with.
Look, if a Legend wants to do a passion project, Like, Miyamoto wants to do Pikmin 4. Yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt you, patient, but yeah.
No, I don't remember what I was saying. Something about Kirby Air Ride. No, I don't remember.
So Kirby Air Ride looks fun. Air Riders, rather. Looking forward to more to see on that, because that trailer did not tell me anything about what's actually going to be in the game, just it exists. You have something that is not a Switch exclusive, but is coming out the same day as the Switch 2, the next two chapters of Deltarune.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
I think
I've
my
been
idea
waiting.
was I will wait until that game is finished before I will play it. And
There's
apparently
like
that's
7
this.
chapters planned.
I think he said it's just 4 now.
It's just 4 now?
I think so.
I think no. I'm pretty sure it was 7. At least 6. It was at least 6 chapters.
I'm just
'Cause
gonna.
I know I've been following the newsletter, and I was hearing about like we're working on 5 and 6 at the same time.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, that's an AI fucking answer, so that's not useful ever.
Chapters
seven.
5 and beyond are scheduled for after launch.
Yeah, because he's been talking about it for a while that 3 and 4 would come out this year. The fifth and 6th chapter have been working, been worked on, like on the side and being scripted on the side. So like they're trying to get it out as fast as they can. If I recall, a big part of why it's been taking so long is the formation of the development team and getting like an actual process here going. Because Undertale was essentially a one-man project.
Yeah.
I still haven't played the original Undertale myself. I got it on sale. I think it might have even been free at the time, but I still haven't played it.
I still recommend it. Like, I will give it a casual recommendation, not the "oh my god, you have to play this thing." I find that usually ends up being like counterproductive. Like, it is a great game, absolutely worth your time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited for that. I want to see what the next couple chapters are. The last kind of major Switch 2 thing I want to talk about is if you have the Nintendo Switch Online thing, which I do, you'll be able to play GameCube games on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I was ecstatic and thoroughly surprised to see that they're actually bringing back Coliseum and XD. I didn't think
Me too.
the Pokemon Company was ever going to acknowledge those games again.
Getting back Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, 2 of my favorite Pokemon games. Getting back Soul Calibur 2, the one game that you can play as Link because it's on the Nintendo console and the GameCube. That's awesome. That's genuinely awesome. And seeing a lot of the other things you can get on there. I didn't see Smash Melee on there, but we don't have 64 on the original 64.
You're not gonna get
either.
fucking Smash Melee.
You're not gonna get Smash.
Yeah.
That's
It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is.
the only people that still give a fuck about Melee are the real diehard competitive people that can't let go. So, you know.
Even so, outside of the multiplayer stuff, I always did enjoy that game. It did have the adventure mode and everything, so it would be fun to see if they could bring it at one point. But yeah, no, like Nintendo stuff. Overall, like there's a lot of games and a lot of fun stuff that was announced. It's just really unfortunate that we then had the like, okay, that was a good direct. What are the price? Oh, those are the prices. But I mean, other than that, like,
Yeah, it was sort of a wow, that was a good direct. Why didn't they mention the price? And then you remember that whole paid thing and that whole paid expansion thing, and then the you have to buy new cards thing, and just sort of builds up the tension until you look at the number and you're like, oh, all of those extra things we have to pay for on top of this other price that we have to pay for, and then also the extra additional fee on top of just buying new games. Cool. Cool. Sorry, we did say that we didn't want to end on the down note.
yeah.
I feel
But
like you led us astray on that one, Zero.
overall, um, I'm very excited to hear and see more and really like see what else they have in store because we know for a fact there's going to be um other franchises that are getting their next big thing. I feel like we're going to be waiting a bit on the Mario title because I feel like the Mario Odyssey team went on to making Bonanza. It just feels like that to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Donkey
maybe
Kong hasn't had a mainstream title for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
Mario,
he hasn't had a 3D platformer since '64.
Yeah. It was the DK rap. It was too powerful. They couldn't release
It's
it.
too far. So they need to bring
I'm
back the
still
DK
waiting
rap.
for them to add that game to NSO.
Uh, yeah, they could probably
Let
do that.
me
at some point.
dream.
Yeah, they could
They
probably
they
do that. They do own it, so
they probably will. All that, yeah. Nintendo
yeah.
stuff.
So, in terms of content, absolutely fantastic. They put on a great show. It would be great. Nintendo, we would love to give you our money. Even a significant amount of our money. It would just be great if you decided to stop being dicks. And while you are currently filing new patents to continue trying to fuck over Palworld, I don't really see that happening. But I can live in hope.
Now, moving on, I think from Nintendo.
Yep.
I have been playing the usual games that I've been playing. One of which is the new patch for Honkai Star Rail, which was just really good story. They have a new event called Seal Slammers, in which you are sending seals or baby seals around a swimming pool and having them collide with others that are in like inner tubes, as if they are marbles, which is fun.
Okay.
The story's getting really good. I'm very excited for more of that. Love Honkai Star Rail. Been playing a little bit of Zenless. Been normal gotcha stuff.
Yeah.
I've been investing time into Xenoblade X, Definitive Edition, and I went back and was like, okay, so Xenoblade X Definitive Edition. What are the differences between this and the previous one? And why didn't I wasn't a huge fan of the previous one? And there's a lot of differences. A lot. And it's really all focused in quality of life. And boy, did that game need it. For example, in that game, you have a huge amount of characters you can recruit into your party. In the original game, you had to walk around the city of New LA and talk to each of them to add them to your party or to swap out party members. You had to go find them to do that. Whereas you just have a menu called with the button that just says active members that lets you quickly swap out your party members. Easy fix. Easy fix. But yeah, I can now say I can pretty fully recommend this game to anybody who wants an open world Xenoblade style RPG type game. It's fun. Really fun.
Cool.
Not done with it yet because I've been sidetracked with every single side quest under the sun. I'm on spring break now from the kids. For like a week, I don't have to worry about teaching children, which is nice.
Yeah.
We had a whole little end of the testing period of some testing we're doing, little party thing. And I got to go ahead and bring out some treats. We had an experiment where the kids got to make their own ice cream.
Oh, wow.
Where you get like two bags, a smaller bag and a bigger bag, like a sandwich bag and a gallon bag, and you put in the small bag half and half, half cream, half milk. Mix in a bit of sugar, and then you basically seal it. Put that into a bag with oh yeah, you put in some vanilla as well, vanilla extract. Then you put it in the big bag that has a bunch of huge ice cubes and salt. Then you close the big bag, and then you just kind of shake it around a bit until the ice begins to cool down the cream and vanilla and um, all that good stuff into becoming a consistently reasonably firm amount of ice cream.
I remember doing that more than once back when I was in elementary school. Good times.
Now, a lot of the kids were like, man, this ice cream's great. We got some sprinkles here, and it's real sweet. Some of the kids didn't have their small bags closed fully. What that meant is that salt from the bigger bag got into the ice cream, and they had salt ice cream.
Oof.
Now, a little bit of salt, that adds to the flavor of pretty much anything, even ice cream.
Sea salt ice
But-
cream, Kingdom Hearts.
They didn't like it. They didn't like it. They did not like it.
I mean, old Uncle Scrooge had to work hard to get that recipe just right, so I guess,
But I mean, I did get them like Star Bread, and Starburst, and like little Reese's individually wrapped little chocolate egg things that they could take home with them. Not eating in class because somebody could not have peanuts. So I was like, "You take this. You who cannot have peanuts, stay away from this, please." And yeah, had a nice little send off to them, and I was informed that as soon as the kids were gone, I could leave. So I left.
Oh.
There was no meeting that day. It was a half day. I'm like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Nice.
And it was great. So now I'm just able to have some time to work on some other things, which is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, there's let's see. Continuing to DM some D&D stuff. Continuing to work on everything else I'm working on. I think that's about it for me. I can't think of anything else. I'm all talked out.
Patient, how you going? Says the Aussie for some reason. What the fuck am I doing? I need to stop doing that.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Never mind.
How you doing?
Well enough. 2 weeks ago, I took a week off of work. That was from the 1st to the 7th. That was nice. General conference was last weekend, and that was as invigorating as it always is. So, and I definitely made the right choice to take it off from Tuesday to Monday rather than from Monday to Friday. Because after spending all weekend with church stuff, it was nice to have one more day after that before just heading back to church. Before heading back to work, I was saying. Sorry, were you saying something?
No?
Okay, just making sure that I wasn't coming across garbled or anything like that.
No, you're good.
Good. I've been spending much of my time off watching a new web series called the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. There are a couple of very well-seasoned Yu-Gi-Oh! Players go through one booster set at a time, starting with the very first Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and they open 24 packs in an online simulator before putting together 2 decks based on what they pull and matching them against each other. Then the next week they open Metal Raiders, the second set, and so on and so forth, until they reach the modern day, upgrading their decks with every episode. I've just started on season 2. Season 1 went for 81 episodes, so it was quite a watch. Season 2 is still ongoing to this day. It's bigger and better than the previous one, and it's very entertaining, and it's sparked a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh players to try the same thing.
Just saw a video about a Yu-Gi-Oh player playing Master Duel, and I couldn't help but laugh because there's a creature that could attack 3 times, right? And they had 3 traps placed down. It was Magic Cylinder 3 times. And they made their opponent kill themselves on like turn 2.
That's actually pretty funny.
Your attack is nullified. You take the damage. Your attack's...
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I cannot contribute to that discussion.
That's fair.
In the Discord, we were playing Magic the Gathering, and there's now a Deadpool card, and it is hilarious.
I mean, I should be surprised about that, but I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh has an entire archetype that's a blatant hybrid of Star Wars and the Wizard of Oz, so
the way it works is when Deadpool comes onto the battlefield, he swaps his text box with another creature's text box. And also, his text box has, at the start of turn, while you have this card on your field, you take 3 damage, basically.
Yeah, that's Deadpool in a nutshell. Breaking the fourth wall and being incorrigibly cheeky.
So essentially, by using a certain combination of cards, you could turn everybody's creatures into just copies of Deadpool.
That is awful.
It's great. I love it.
Let's see.
You know, for someone who enjoys like the trading card game shop simulator, you would think I would have more interest in trading card games. In fairness, I do have like 4 boxes of like Pokemon trading cards that I have yet to open because I really need to clean my flat first.
You know, you are welcome to join us on any of our trading card times. We'll jump you in.
I am aware I won't. Like, I've tried Magic. It's not my thing.
And I've pretty much fallen out of the physical game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, aside from the expense of getting the cards, it's just... You can't get anywhere these days unless you're playing to win the game on your first turn, and that's not much of a game to me.
That's how it is with old card games.
Yeah. Anyway, before I get depressed again, it's been a few weeks. A couple of weeks since I was on. Posted the latest chapters of Platinum Pirate and Electric Karibo, both good stories, both coming along nicely. This recent chapter of Duelist Dream of Electric Karibo was the one that covered the episode of Yugi's deck and in the GX anime. So that was fun to go over. And Is there much else going on besides that? Well, I finally got my taxes done. I was putting them off for no good reason, really, but got them submitted and got a nice refund out of it. Just waiting for it to be deposited, but that'll be good. Oh yeah, and my mother got fired, so that's not good. Yeah. She's still dealing with depression about it a couple of weeks later. And I really hope something gives soon, that she can get back on her feet. She fell into this depression before when she was laid off, and it did not go away until she found a new job. So hopefully it pans out. Hopefully something pans out. There's just not much I can do to help. I need to think of something else, because that's ending on a really, really depressing note for my turn.
Sorry, I'm going to truncate the silences in the editing process. So, for those not aware, that was about a good 10 seconds of silence as Patient tried to think of something. Yeah. My buddy, remember fucking Mario Kart World? That looks cool. I don't know what you got going on, so I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Listen. Okay, Mario Kart. Yeah, Minecraft movie is out. Chicken Jockey.
Minecraft movie.
I have not seen that, and honestly, I'm iffy about anything involving Jack Black. Not because
I'm going to see it because Jack Black.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that he's a good actor, a very, very good actor who deserves his reputation. It's just that his style doesn't quite mesh with my tastes, usually. Sometimes. I don't know. It's hit or miss.
I'm not going to that movie expecting a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm going to that movie to watch everything burn.
Here's the thing. The Minecraft... The best way I have seen it described, ever, is that the Minecraft movie might be this generation's Rocky Horror Picture Show or The Room.
Are you kidding me?
It is
that kind of cult classic pedigree?
Yeah, it is a theater experience. You go there to see everyone quote the stupid shit. You see them pop off for all of the really dumb, like, Jack Blackisms that are thrown out that are just Jack Black being Jack Black. And you just have fun with it. It's gonna be crap, but it's gonna be enjoyable crap. That's how that works.
Well, that definitely kills any desire I have to see it, but that gives me a good idea of what's going on. That I really don't have anything else to say there. So, well, depressing note averted. How has your couple of weeks been, Casey?
Been okay. Had some time to catch up on things. I'm almost caught up, and I'm not, but I'm almost caught up, which is, nice. Better than being under the gun for everything. As for like things that I've been doing, what the fuck have I been doing? We're back to one of those episodes, are we? There's this game. You might have heard of it. It's called Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't ever heard of it. Why don't you describe it in excruciating detail for everyone to hear?
It's Harvest Moon, but made by a guy who really liked Harvest Moon. Yeah, so that got its 1.6 update about a year ago, and that felt like a good enough time to be like, okay, now I can start doing mods again. Funny thing about that, about a few days ago, there was an update.
Oh,
In fairness, it was a small patch, but I felt like, okay, fuck you. So, eventually that game is going to stop receiving updates and I can get just a nice, stable mod experience where I have all the things that I want to have that are currently working and it just fucking works and I can play it without worries of like a stealth update just dropping a fucking hammer on the entire mod community and everyone has to scramble to update to be compatible with the new update. Mr. Barone, Mr. Concerned Ape Man, would you please move on to your new game? Please. Please, 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 please.
Stardew Valley 2.
Haunted Chocolatier, actually. But yeah.
We should announce Stardew Valley 2.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to do a Stardew Valley 2. Like,
We should call it Stardew Mountain.
Yeah, so sandbagging that one. What else have I done? Not much. I mean, ZZZ is still going strong. The new trailer for 2.0 came out. I don't know whether you've seen it, Zero.
I've not watched any of the new stuff for it. Though I did see briefly they were like, hey, but China though.
Yeah, you know how every one of the Hoyo games just sort of like 5 minutes after it releases goes, hey, how about China?
We spent a long time in Space China in Honkai Star Rail. A long time in Space China.
I believe Genshin is still pretty much in space China, despite releasing 4 new regions since then.
To keep dragging me back in. I'm happy to be in Space Greece instead.
Yeah, so now ZZZ with its urban multiculturalism, with all of the signs that are in English and Chinese, and there are Japanese cultural motifs and American ones, and also some nice retro futurism and all that stuff. Now we're just in traditional China again.
Bound to happen. They were having police officers in China dress up as Zhu Yuan to recruit people to the police force.
Yeah, that sounds like something they would do. Anyway, aside from depressing real world shit of like supporting a totalitarian regime, so I'm not particularly hyped for 2.0 because it's basically just fucking Chinese shit and I don't care. Also, they're hyping up, hey, the protagonists can be active in combat and go into like the hollows and stuff, and I don't really care about that either, and would honestly just prefer to keep playing as Eos in the hollows because that was cool as shit and the best addition that they made in 1.4. Despite getting rid of the TV mode, which was kind of cool and added some nice emotionally resonant moments like the Kami North story and everything like that couldn't really be done in like in-engine stuff. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'll reserve judgment until it comes out, but some things in there that I'm not particularly happy with. Oh well. God damn it! Am I really gonna leave it on a down note just like everybody fucking else did?
Yeah, hey, that's just life, I guess, sometimes.
Oh,
Well, we're hardly leaving it on a down note if we're going. Go ahead.
To exercise and stuff, that's going better. I'm
Nice.
doing more, and that's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
My room is clean because I'm still medicated and
yeah.
have been upgrading and cleaning and organizing my everything. I have like got my new nightstand, I got my new trash can, I got my new laundry basket,
I've been getting
almost a
better at
laundry
that
hamper.
too. Like I can almost see my floor. Almost.
No, I can see my floor clearly.
It's getting there.
After taking the week off, which was a much needed reprieve and refresher for me, I've been walking to and from work every day, which has been giving me a decent amount of exercise and
Yeah.
saving a decent amount of gas money. And a decent amount of time, considering that there's a lot of construction going on the street, making it so that walking 2 blocks is faster than driving 2 blocks in some cases.
Yeah, that can be a thing of like, hey, if driving is actually not as efficient as just walking, then that really helps encourage exercise. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still call that a positive note.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Like, as soon as I put the recycling out in the morning, assuming I remember to do it and don't get distracted as I tend to do, then I will probably be able to see my floor again. And also, regularly working up a sweat and stuff. That's cool. That's good. Losing weight, lowering blood pressure. Hopefully, I mean that's a little bit nebulous because anxiety and stuff keeps fucking with the readings. But yeah, it's not great when your issue is high blood pressure, and taking your blood pressure makes you anxious, which raises your blood pressure. That's it's not a good like sort of feedback loop there. That's kind of counterproductive. But you know, you deal with it. It's fine. Oh, and also we should probably talk about the stupid thing that I did. Remember how I said that I was actually on top of things and was fine and not behind anymore? Yeah. See, my schedule got so fucked up over the past few months that Patreon polls that are supposed to go up on Monday ended up going up like Wednesday and ending on Saturday. And so when it came to this week, when I put up a poll on Monday and it ended on like Thursday, like it's supposed to, I thought that was Saturday. Which meant that when we were supposed to record for today, I was showing up on Friday like, okay, don't worry guys. I kind of got distracted by something, but I'm going to be here. I'm maybe like 10 minutes late. It's cool. Don't
I
worry about
saw
it.
that.
Yep.
I saw, and I was like, wait, what?
It's like, okay, right, I got distracted again. Fuck. All right, time to have a quick shower, and then I can come back, and we'll be ready to record. Okay, I'm back, guys. I'm ready to. I'm just gonna get a drink, and then we're good to go.
Yeah.
What day is it? So that was Friday. Yeah. So try that again. So yeah, I will be here on Sunday, which is the day we record. Yeah. Yeah. Which I was. You know, I want credit for that. I was actually here on Sunday to record.
Yes, you were here.
I was also like 5 minutes late, but that's cool.
I was here first.
Yeah.
I was here on time. I was here 2 minutes early, in fact.
I was later than you were, as I usually am.
I usually show up when I tag you, and that's like, you know, the best way to do it. Like, that's fine. I am happy to not waste your time. So yeah. I think that's probably a better note to go out on, I think. Hey.
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh, right. There was this thing. You might have heard of it.
The cool people that we like a lot.
You've not done it in a while, so let me pull that up real quick.
All the cool people who are super cool and good at Nintendo.
Yeah. I want to thank you to our patrons who are generously supporting us. Um, Thank you to Jason MacArthur, Rehits21, Vale, Greek Guy, Ethan F., and the Crossbrain.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good to Nintendo, kind of shit at PlayStation. Just gonna throw that out there. You guys need to up your game, but otherwise, thank you. We appreciate it.
The Nintendo. Oh man. Um, I'm curious to see how the whole Nintendo situation ends up panning out, but more so than anything, if Scarlet and Violet can run, I'm sold.
I'm not sure I would say I'm sold, but it would be nice. That would be.
I
I it would run better. That doesn't really fix the bugs, but it would run
the,
better.
the issue, like that game has a really solid story, like actually a really solid story mode and way of progression, and battle system is really fun to work with. The new Pokemon are all really great.
Yeah.
It's just when I hit the boost button, I go slower.
It's a game you really want to like. That was kind of the vibe that it got on release, even when it was the most broken it ever was. Was
Yeah.
wow, this game is really cool. I wish I could play it.
Yeah. I want to be able to fully enjoy it. Um, so hopefully a new console helps, but I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. Bayonetta 3 is going to get the same treatment. It's not going to fix the story, but it'll get the same treatment and you'll be able to play it well.
Yeah.
Man, second party titles for Nintendo stuff is just kind of a lot of just sort of faint praise kind of things going on, unfortunately. But hopefully that comes out better in Switch 2. We can hope.
Hmm. I hope it all works out well.
Yeah.
I very much hope that myself, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a robust system. It's going to be fairly powerful if companies like second party companies follow Nintendo's doctrine of just don't go for big, bombastic, super huge dynamics stuff and like don't go for realism. Be stylized and be efficient. Great.
And like people are like, well, why does like Xenoblade X look so good on the Switch when Pokemon looks so terrible? And it's, well, you see, they use a lot of the same development like shortcuts and tricks to achieve a really good appearance for their open world that an experienced team that's been working together for a long time can do. But Pokemon doesn't, because they keep cutting their staff and getting new staff.
I don't see how anyone can be this irresponsible with the single most profitable video game franchise on the planet.
You kind of
Yeah.
answered your own question there.
Yep.
I wish
Because
that
it's so
it
profitable.
weren't that simple.
Yeah, and so like the issue is when you go for like the hard realism, the like realistic lighting, which Pokemon does have realistic lighting, and that's the issue. It ends up being the case in which you're like, well, it's easier, but it's hard on the resources.
Here's the thing about that. Nobody cares about realistic lighting when it's bouncing off models from the GameCube era. Nobody gives a shit. Like,
Yeah, but they're still doing it. It's the problem. Oh, anyway.
yeah. So is that a down note? I feel like that's sort of an ambivalent note. I think that's good enough. I think we can end it there.
Yeah, no, it's. I look forward to being able to punch things until they explode in Donkey Kong Bonanza. That'll be fun. That's
And I
genuinely
look forward to snagging
fun. Snag Ball, XD and Coliseum. Get to play them again.
And
Yay.
more importantly than snagging Pokemon, the return of the greatest character ever, Mirror B.
I knew you were gonna bring this up. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I kept talking about Mirror B during the Dancing Green fight in 14 and the new patch. Anyway.
And nobody knew what you were talking about because it's from fucking Pokemon XD?
No, people knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
He's that iconic. He's from
Oh,
XD
yes.
and Coliseum. He appears in both.
The only. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Bye, everybody.
You'll have
I guess,
a
I don't know. Let's fucking end the episode already. Jesus Christ. It's like 3 endings.
Until next time.